What's up, everybody? We have a very special show for you today. Apparently, dreams do come true. I achieved one of mine when I went on the Joe Rogan Experience. The episode is live today. I don't really get nervous for anything, but I was pretty nervous for this. I've been a super fan of Joe's show for the last decade, and so it was tough to contain myself and lay low when leading up to the episode, he had been texting me talking about binging our show, American Alchemy, and loving it. Joe is a hero of mine. I think he's a strong force for good and free thought, and he showed a ton of courage under fire during the pandemic. So saying that this was an honor would be a massive understatement. On the show, we talk about all sorts of crazy shit from artificial intelligence. It doesn't matter whether AGI, hits some like perfectly Turing passable point. You're going to get this like these weird cult-like dynamics. Like the meta-sociological thing is you're going to get like religions dedicated to AI.
Oh, for sure. Oh, for sure. Without a doubt, there'll be people worshiping certain branches of AI.
To secret science. And I think there is technology that is black technology and science that is black science. And then I think there's stuff out in the open. And so I think this has already maybe happened in certain contexts and super secret Department of Energy facilities, which I think it's crazy to say that hasn't happened. You're saying that it only happened with the Manhattan Project and it hasn't happened since? That's insane. There is black science. To exotic propulsion, gravity is out here hanging out by itself on an island. So you have the standard model, quantum field theory, and you have Einstein's theory of gravity. And the two are not reconcilable. It is my belief that if you were to reconcile them, you could create exotic propulsion. To UFOs, I saw a thing that looked like a fucking school bus. It looked like no visible propulsion, this like sort of low humming noise or whatever. It was maybe 50, 60, 70 feet high, like right above the treetops. Those bizarre Nazca tridactyl mummies that I flew down to Peru to see.
What do you think is going on there?
They break my brain. I don't want to be overly sensationalist about this. If it's a hoax, it's the best hoax ever. And finally, the legendary Thomas Townsend Brown. Townsend Brown's biographer has him on record in a phone call that is recorded saying the tests were very tricky, but in the end, we got it to work. And he's on his deathbed. But before you go and watch that, just wait a second. We have a very special episode for you today. Before going on Joe's show, I had already been friends with his producer, young Jamie. Jamie is an awesome guy. He knows a ton about UFOs and is down some pretty crazy rabbit holes, so naturally we hit it off. He's also a huge golf fan. Serendipitously, one of the best golfers in the world, Viktor Hovland, reached out to me last year because he's a huge fan of American Alchemy and happened to be coming to Austin in late April. Viktor is the absolute man. Outside of being a top 10 golfer in the world, the sensation from Norway is humble, down to earth, and super smart. In his spare time, he's reading Plato and learning about UFOs. Let's all root for him in the US Open this month. So Jamie, Viktor, and I did a little golfing at Barton Pitch and Putt when Viktor was in town. They watched me absolutely embarrass myself as we discuss a bunch of trippy, fun topics. Without further ado, please enjoy this week's amazing American alchemists, Jamie Vernon and Viktor Hovland. Oh, and one more thing. We just launched maybe the coolest merch line ever, which I'll link in the description. I mean, just look at these designs. We have our Cowboy UFO tee and our Atomic Space Age tee. So go grab those and watch my episode with Joe Rogan, but not before watching this amazing special episode of American Alchemy. What got you into UFOs?
Dude, it's cool. Yeah.
Oh no! There's like a lot of evidence there are crashes and that they have anomalous stuff.
How much and how deep it goes is kind of the question.
What's the deal about the pyramids?
What was I doing wrong before? Like I'd hit it.
Where do we start? Summon the egg.
Summon the egg.
Okay.
Yeah.
Multiple different factions.
He has some conspiracy theories.
Okay.
I don't even know if they're conspiracies. Never thought about it until right now. I might want to pull up my phone.
Pull it up, Jamie.
He's like, fuck you.
My driver game is broken right now. Not that I'm gonna ask you for any tips, but I'm mini driver only
Yeah,
right now.
I'll take a look, bro.
I might go till I run out of balls because I know I'm gonna fucking whack it into weird places.
No, you're fine.
This is sweet.
All right, who's
Jamie,
first?
you're going first.
Damn it, you say that.
You want to send it?
That's too hard.
Not bad.
Oh, that's fine.
There you go.
Just hit the shot first and we'll see what we got.
Okay, yeah, man. Not working with much.
Well, all right, not bad. It's just gonna run right down there.
Whoa.
That's it.
What got you into UFOs?
Obviously, those videos that were released or leaked from the Pentagon that came out.
Yeah.
Gimbal and is it Nimitz, the other one?
Nimitz and Go Fast, yeah.
And then it's just been this like slow bleed of listening to Joe Rogan's podcast and hearing Bob Lazar. And like, that's interesting. But that was like the first story or that I'd heard about it. And it's very easy to go, okay, that's just one guy. Just dismiss him.
Yeah.
And then you just move on with your life. But then you hear more and more guys coming out like that. And it's very hard to just dismiss all their information.
Totally.
Especially when a lot of their stories like corroborate each other.
Yeah.
You start to hear about the case in Virginia or Dave Grush mentioned in 1933 it was in Italy.
It's long been known that the regime of dictator Benito Mussolini documented numerous UAP during this time. This internal memo from the Italian Secret Services includes crude drawings of the UAPs.
It's true. It's real. Yeah, that actually happened. The Italian government moved it to a secure air base in Italy for the rest of kind of the fascist regime until 1944, 1945. And, you know, the Pope Pius XII back-channeled that.
So the Vatican was involved.
Yeah, and told the Americans what the Italians had, and we ended up scooping it.
There's so many places where it's happened all over the world.
In 46, in Sweden, they had ghost rockets, which looked like modified V2s, and Eisenhower sent General James Doolittle out there to investigate. And there were like over 1,000 of these like V2 rockets that seemed to like be able to move and traverse in ways that like V2s would generally just, you know, they wouldn't steer themselves that much or whatever. And they would go like way faster than V2s. And so nobody knows like what those are. And I don't know. I think Sweden itself has like a lot of UFOs. So they have like a big UFO contingency. And there's like an astronomer there named Beatrice Villarreal who's big in this stuff. But I don't know
that. It just seems like everywhere else outside of the U.S., the governments are it's easier for them to kind of keep that information on the down low versus here in the United States. There's so many people who are anti-government and kind of think for themselves a little bit. So they push the narratives out there. But it is so frustrating because you don't really have anything concrete and like hard evidence yet. Even though there seems to be so much out there. I mean, from your videos and like the deep dives that you do, it's unbelievable. And you want it to be like, you just want to have something.
You want to believe.
But it's hard to just go like full deep into it until you have, you know, something concrete. But hopefully that's going to come soon.
You're the youngest in the top 10?
I might be. I don't know, to be honest.
I thought you were. How old are you? You're 20. Close. You're 25?
27.
27?
Yep.
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Sit.
Dude.
Drop.
Damn, just hitting everything far.
See, Andrew will move to Ohio.
Yeah.
I think we
texted. Or at least the giant spot there for sure.
Yeah.
The Intel plant there is a little bit of a situation right now, but they have Andrew. Quite a few data centers. I guess there's like, it's specifically because there's like no seismic activity. So like no fracking, no other things going around. It's obviously important, but
interesting.
There's also other stuff in that neighborhood.
Yeah. Like what?
I mean, it's not a giant state.
So Jamie's from Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. And Battelle Memorial Institute is there. And Battelle manages all the nuclear sites across the U.S.
It's also very close to Wright-Patterson.
Which
is a lot of stuff has happened there, supposedly, at least.
So he has some conspiracy theories.
Okay.
I don't even know if they're conspiracies.
Just truth. Kick up there. Go.
Wow.
Yeah, nice shot, Jamie.
No.
It's all right.
Whack an old lady.
So no, they're just there.
I hit people all the time. Unfortunately. What's coming up now for you? What do you got planned?
So going to Mexico and Peru.
Yeah.
And then doing this, I interviewed these Skywatcher guys. I was just talking to Jamie about it. Have you seen these guys? They're like
Skywatchers. No.
they like claim to have this thing called the dog whistle, which is this frequency and
that attracts
UFOs like 100% of the time. And they have sensors and they like pick up a lot of weird stuff.
Okay.
So I want to see what's up.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Even more effective than the CE5.
Yeah. Well, they also have that. They also have like, psychic, like they call them neuromeditators or whatever. And they like try to summon UAP. And Jake, there was this guy, he had to start for 4 years. And then Jake Barber, when he came out, joined him. And they had like 8 classes of UAP. And then he joined and they're adding the egg is the 9th. And they're trying to get the egg, which Jake retrieved or whatever in the mid 2000s to like come down. And like
to summon the egg.
Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
And like do it in front of everybody, which obviously if they do that, that's
that's gotta be some of the, that should be next step. If everybody can do that.
Yeah.
On tape, please.
Yeah. On tape.
All right.
Damn, that's cool. Where are they at?
It's a bold, it's a mobile, like sensor unit. So they can set up anywhere, but they did operations in Palmdale and then the Finley Mountain Range. In East Texas or West Texas, actually. Which is a critique of theirs is people are like, oh, it's next to like sensitive sites. So it could be like, that
it's not their
Lockheed
method,
or Northrop or no, it could be like stuff like spoofing them or could be done in conjunction with that. Yeah.
Okay.
So it's a bold
that's
claim.
Interesting. No, that's cool. That's worth
worthy
checking
of
out.
some follow-up.
Yeah, for sure.
Go
Whoa.
I'm gonna give myself.
We'll give it to him.
Yeah, you do exactly. Not bad.
Put on the hill.
All right. No, it's just pathetic.
There we go.
You don't have to name any names, but do you talk about this stuff on tour at all with anybody?
People look at me pretty crazy.
Oh yeah,
when I start talking
that came out.
about
And everyone was like, "What, Victor?
I feel like you're
are you okay?"
pretty much. Pretty much.
I feel like you're good at spinning the questions that you get back to golf. You're like, yeah, it's like you can't be dogmatic with your golf swing either. Like,
but it's so true though. It's like in everything in life.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was trying to connect it together, but it's like you have to question everything, and in doing so, you find that either you get rid of the beliefs that you have, or you believe in the things you believe in even more deeply.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's good to just be open minded and ask a bunch of questions.
Totally.
And especially to that topic that you're involved in. It's like you spend more time researching it, you just get more questions, and it's so interesting.
Yeah.
And the implications of all of it is, I mean, if just objectively speaking, if that's not interesting, then what else is interesting?
Yeah.
And nothing else is.
wow.
That's it.
Looks great.
That could be pretty good, actually.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
pretty good.
This is a hard hole. Just over that.
Jesse, did you see what he did? Do that. Just copy him.
Nope.
That's not bad.
Get up.
What was I doing wrong before? Like I'd hit it.
Yeah, it's where do we start?
All right.
Yeah, that's better.
That was me.
There you go.
Partner golf.
Most improved.
Most improved. It's a low bar. Do you feel like you get to, when you travel, you can like see the places you go, or are you like
It's
so focused?
Generally, when I feel like I'm playing pretty well and I'm trying more to conserve my energy, I like to just find a cool spot in the town that I'm in, or like a couple years ago, I was in London and Stonehenge wasn't too far away. So, all right, let's drive an hour and a half and check out Stonehenge, or
sick.
Like in Ohio or Columbus, for that tournament, I drove to Serpent Mound.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
there's a few things in, I mean, you'd be there like a month if you're going, right?
Yeah, there's
a couple of things around town.
Yeah, there's some cool things there. And it's like, it's just nice to mix it up and get away from the golf course a little bit.
You're really into the like ancient civilization.
Dude, it's
like,
cool.
Yeah, it's awesome, man.
So I liked your Graham Hancock interview. That was That's cool.
I love Graham. You see his debate on Rogan with Flint Dibble?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a name that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. But like in the moment, I'm like, man, Flint Dibble is like, he's obviously really smart. Felt like it kind of didn't get anywhere, if that makes sense. But
those debates aren't like usually the best debates, even because they're really kind of coming in, not really. I don't think most people are willing to like budge. They're coming in to like say what they had to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of get those clips recorded, and
it's not a conversation of trying to figure out what's going on. It's like my side is gonna win, or
So just hear me say it again.
Yeah.
Now they'll believe me.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just two different like data sets. Like Graham has his stuff, and Flint hasn't even like looked at it.
Yeah.
And then he has some slide with too many shipwrecks that like, didn't even happen.
He's got a good point. Like, you haven't looked everywhere. It's like, we haven't looked everywhere. Exactly.
Yeah.
We know.
As you know, I'm always on the hunt for things that help me stay sharp, focused, and full of energy while I'm diving into life's mysteries and making this show happen. And I've got to say, Mudwater has completely transformed my mornings. Back in the day, I used to struggle with that post-coffee crash. And let's not even get into the caffeine jitters. Mudwater gave me the smooth, steady energy I was missing. It's packed with functional mushrooms like lion's mane, chaga, and reishi, plus turmeric and cacao, all working together to keep me focused, calm, and grounded. Honestly, it's like coffee went on a yoga retreat and came back zen. What I love most is that it's not just about replacing coffee, it's a whole new ritual. It's a simple, nourishing way to start the day, and I actually look forward to it every morning. Every ingredient is USDA certified organic, vegan, non-GMO, and there's zero sugar. It's energy that doesn't mess with your sleep or make you question your life choices at 3 a.m. Ready to make the switch to cleaner energy? Head to mudwater.com, that's MUDWTR.com, and grab your starter kit today. Right now, our listeners get an exclusive deal up to 43% off your entire order, plus free shipping and a free rechargeable frother when you use code Jesse. That's right, up to 43% off with code Jesse at MUDWTR.com. After your purchase, they'll ask you how you found them. Please show your support and let them know we sent you. Keep your energy natural and refreshing all year long with Mudwater, because life's too short for anything less than clean, delicious energy.
What's the deal about the pyramids? What they discovered underneath the pyramid? Is that just like a weird gadget that they're reading that stuff, or is there actual physical structures underneath the pyramid? I guess that's what they're maybe debating.
I'm a little skeptical. Like
I think the answer is yes.
Yes, what? All of the above?
Yes.
What's your take? Have you looked into it?
There's definitely stuff under the pyramid. That's how much and how deep it goes is kind of the question.
I've heard that too, but why are you high conviction that there's stuff under the pyramid?
Well, I mean, just that people have gone under it and shown it on video, I think.
Yeah.
There's at least a chamber
But
under
this
there.
new thing is like synthetic aperture radar, which doesn't penetrate below the ground enough to be able to get like these generators at that level of granularity, be able to draw them up. So I'm skeptical of this latest like Italian.
They seem very,
press release.
Like, I don't know if excited but like very like adamant about their point. Like, no, we did. This is it.
Yeah.
We did find this.
But
I don't think anyone's going to let them go dig to check either, though.
Right.
But can you not figure out a way, maybe like from, you dig a hole from, I don't know, half a mile away and try to get close to it?
I think people have been asking to go underneath the Sphinx for a long time, and they're not letting them do that
They
either.
think there's stuff under the Sphinx. Well, the Minister of Culture in Egypt. Zahi Hawass, has a
gatekeeper.
Clamp down on that entire area. He said in the 90s, he said there's stuff under the Sphinx. And then I think they dug some really superficial thing and they're like, nothing to see here. And then didn't like pursue it further. So there's probably some like planned obsolescence, like with like Apple products or something where it's like, I think they like to like dribble out like the reveals for like tourism, and they don't like things that go against the Egyptian national pride. Like if something predates Egypt, that's not good.
They can't claim it.
They can't claim it. So I think it's like too much all at once is kind of a threat to them.
Do you think they know kind of the bigger history of the pyramids, but they're not deciding to release it? Or is it like...
I don't think they fully know.
No.
But I don't know. I believe the Graham Hancock and Robert Schoch, John Anthony West theories that limestone damage on the Sphinx shows that it predates, whatever it was, the Old Kingdom or, 5,000 years ago or whatever.
Yeah.
And, maybe there was a tropical climate at that time. And then maybe the pharaonic headdress was retrofitted onto this older structure. But beyond that, I think there's decent evidence actually that the pyramids themselves were built during the ancient Egypt. So I don't know. What do you think?
I'm without going, somewhere like that. I don't know. I was just trying to think in my head. It could be a silly question. I'm trying. Nowhere in the Bible do they talk about the pyramids, do they? But I don't know. That's kind of, I should probably have Google in front of me to ask that kind of question. I don't
think so, no.
So it has to be 2,000 to 3,000. But why wouldn't they? Or did they just not? They could have easily just taken those passages out if they didn't want it in there. I don't know. That's just a thought I just had, literally.
Well, the Jews were the slaves, but then, were they, are there...
Because they don't talk about building them either. We were being used to build this giant structure.
Right.
And we were tired of it.
Maybe they didn't know what was going on in Egypt because they were obviously in the Middle East. So it's pretty far away. But you would think they were that word.
I don't know, though. There's that...
But it was in Egypt. The Exodus was... They say this is speculation under Ramses II in Egypt, and so. But then I don't know if they talk about pyramids.
Yeah,
so. I never thought about it until right now. I might want to pull up my phone and pull it up.
ChatGPT.
Pull it up, Jamie.
Was pyramids mentioned in the Bible?
He's like, fuck you.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yay!
Go.
Yeah. Was that Harold Malmgren video that you did? Was that maybe the craziest one that you've done? Or
I think so. I kind of think so. Because it's hard to argue with his credentials.
Yeah.
They're kind of unimpeachable.
There might be now as they changed the Wikipedia page.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's insane. They literally changed it. Did you see this, Jamie?
Yeah.
They literally changed him from top presidential aide, JFK, LBJ, Nixon, Ford, to American writer and lobbyist, and said he was part of the Japanese whaling lobby. And and then involved in some other scandal or whatever. It's insane. And if you hear him speak, to any discerning person, you're he was an extremely elite player in politics.
Yeah.
You just know, hear how sophisticated he is. It's just insane. But so I think so. I thought about it after that, and I'm how much deeper can you get without unveiling a saucer in a hanger?
Yeah. And I don't have the knowledge that you do, but I could see that in that interview, as he's talking, you're just making all these connections, with certain things that he's saying and the people that he's been around. It was just pretty cool to watch from an outsider's perspective.
Well, I was what the fuck? The magenta thing. Yeah. What else did Richard Bissell tell you?
He said this didn't start last week. This has been going on. He mentioned that in 1933 in magenta.
He did?
Yes.
Richard Bissell mentioned the 1933 magenta crash.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Exactly.
That is such corroboration because that is a highly conflicted, account.
1933 was the first recovery in Europe, in Magenta, Italy.
I fully trust David Grush, but that's amazing that there's some corroboration from back then.
He mentioned it.
Wow. It's pretty crazy, the bluegill triple prime test. There's so much data around that, probably involving some sort of anomalous object.
Yeah.
This guy, Jeffrey Cruikshank, went really deep into. But then it's also tough. It's he said majestic, that word, from the Majestic 12.
Yeah.
And then Nick was actually filming it, and I didn't even hear that. We had to transcribe it later because his voice, he survived throat cancer 12 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And his voice is not good. And so he said that on the phone to me, and if I had more time with him, I would have asked him 100 questions about that.
Yeah.
So he could have been using that in its counter intel context, like just referring to some group, but like he didn't want to say the name of the group or whatever. So it's hard to say on some of the stuff. Like I wish I had more time with him, but still like.
And the fact that they changed his Wikipedia right after, like that makes you pretty conspiratorial when you see stuff like that. I mean, like why would you do that?
Yeah.
Why? For no other reason than to discredit what the man said.
Totally. You can come up with these like meta games that they could be playing where it's like they want to show he's credible by like faking some detraction on it, but it's crazy. At a certain point, you're like, I think you just take it at face value or whatever. And then there are other things like he's at the end of his life and like you don't always remember everything perfectly correctly, but like, I don't know, if you add up the fact that Richard Bissell, who like literally like was the designer of Area 51, like was briefing him on other world technologies, and then, you know, he's holding the thing, Lawrence. I mean, we should ask Jeff Bezos, like, because that's his grandfather that gave him the UAP material or whatever.
So,
what a crazy connection.
How crazy is that?
So this is kind of a weird question, but if Jeff Bezos has connection to the intelligence community, and like maybe they know something that most people don't. Yeah. Like why are him and like Elon out there shooting chemical rockets into space? Like if they have more advanced technology or crafts, like why are they pushing it in that direction? Yeah,
I think about this a lot, and like I think if they do have stuff, which I do think they have stuff, I don't think they know how to use it. And I think if there are psyops, it's like convincing people they do or something. It's like softening the enemy or something.
I wouldn't imagine they'd test that like every week or every night. Then I'd be like every 6 months, like, all right, we've got to test. Everybody's in place. We're going to do it at like 3 a.m. to 5:30 a.m.
Yeah.
And we'll get back next week and we'll see what oh shit, they saw it. No, delete. What's supposed to happen? How'd they see it? Who saw it? Where?
Now let's pivot in this direction.
All right, stop. We have to 3 months later, we have to take a break. That's also a little bit too extreme too. Like it can't just be that either.
Yeah.
But you don't have a ton of evidence that they know how to use this stuff. It's like Bob Lazar, Dan Barish. You have like a few possible data points. And then otherwise, there's like, I think a lot of evidence there crashes and that they have anomalous stuff. And then it could be like a USB drive for like a caveman where it's like...
Even if they know how to use it.
No idea.
Even if you know how to use it, doesn't mean you know how to make it or deconstruct it or recharge it.
Right.
Refuel it. You know, who knows? Like,
right.
I don't know. Yeah. Who knows, really, I guess.
What on the physics side do you find the most convincing? Because it seems like there's potentially a lot of different ways to get to kind of the same outcome of technology.
Yeah.
But a lot of, at least the physicists that I'd like to listen to or have thoughts of, they come at it from many different angles, and it's like, which one's correct? And like, can you test it? Can you try it?
I think it's hard to say. Like, you have all these like EM drive and like Alcubierre warp drive, and you have like Hal Puthoff's like electrically polarized vacuum. You have like a million different frameworks. Yeah. But I like to start, because I'm dumb on the physics level, like with the...
Doesn't seem like it, but...
No, really. I could like barely keep up, but like, I think finding like the like initial effect that was like an anomaly that got classified is like probably the best starting point. And I think this guy Townsend Brown figured out basically a way to manipulate gravity with electromagnetism, and then a lot stems from that. That's like more sophisticated. So I like to like start there. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm sure they're like way more advanced at this point.
Yeah, you would think so, or you would hope so.
I think so.
Yeah.
And there's like, I don't know, like aerospace graybeards that I speak to when I bring up Brown and that sort of thing. They're like, you know, we can't say, but like wink, wink, nudge, nudge, like, or it's the opposite where they're like bizarrely, like aggressively, like there's definitely nothing there. I saw your video, but there's nothing there. And it's like, why are you watching my video? Yeah. Like you're like some like, like Lockheed like exec or something.
There's so many physicists that are talking about like, okay, advanced whatever technology, and you can use a quantum vacuum or whatever the word they're trying to say. And then you have so many other scientists, whatever the establishment, that are just fully materialistic, and any anomaly that we see is just prosaic or conventional. And it's like, why do you have there's such a big divide?
Yeah.
And it's like, I even listened to Avi Loeb on your buddy Chris
Ramsey.
Yeah.
He did a great job.
Yeah, and like I love listening to Avi, but even he is like, he's trying to find aliens.
Yeah.
And he's like, I haven't seen anything. I don't believe in anything else outside of that. So it's just interesting how you can have one faction of people, particularly the people working for government.
But Avi also
projects.
comes from like an intelligence background. He worked on on Star Wars. Yeah, like
I thought he said that he didn't in that podcast, but I might have listened wrong.
No, I'm pretty sure it's about Star Wars.
Yeah, maybe
I think so. Maybe I'm wrong, but I wonder if he knows a little more than he lets on.
Yeah.
Or he said the high mesh. Like, did you hear that high mesh?
No, I did not.
So this guy like ran the Israeli Space Force, and he's like, there's a galactic federation, and we're working with like aliens on Mars, like crazy shit. And he's like, I think he knows that from his intelligence background. And I'm like, how would you know that? Like, This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. If you are going through something, anything, I always think talking about it helps. I've also always believed that taking care of your mental well-being is as essential as staying physically fit, especially when life keeps you on the go. For me, it's interviews, projects, and travel. Sometimes you just need to blow off some steam. I've seen firsthand how a solid support system can transform your day to day. Traditional therapy costs anywhere from $100 to $250 per session. It often takes a lot of time to book the sessions. It's hard to know who's a quality therapist. BetterHelp makes weekly therapy perfectly accessible with a flat weekly fee that saves you a lot of time and money. You get instantly matched up with an amazing therapist, and you can vet them based on their track record. What I really appreciate is how easy it is to connect with one of BetterHelp's over 30,000 licensed therapists. No waiting rooms, no rigid scheduling, just guidance and support delivered online. Whether you're tackling everyday stress, managing anxiety, or simply looking to build better coping skills, don't let these things fester or build up. BetterHelp provides a straightforward, affordable way to get the care you deserve. Your well-being is worth it. It's the most important thing in your life, even more important than aliens. So visit betterhelp.com/alchemypod today to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/alchemypod. ALCHEMYPOD. After you sign up, they'll ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. That would go a long way.
McGonagall.
Yeah.
He's the CIA remote viewer.
Yeah.
that was a wild one.
Yeah, dude.
Because he pulled out on your... Oh,
here we go.
All right.
Aliens are coming.
Sound. They got us. Send in the train. But yeah. Remote viewing millions of years ago, Mars.
Yeah.
But then also they say that like only 30% of what they were seeing was accurate.
Yeah, for sure. And some of the images he showed me, I like debunked. Like some of them are not legit. So I don't know. But the Mars thing, I think it's actually dogmatic and crazy to say 0% chance that there was life on Mars. Yeah. You have the water caverns, you have the excess of like argon 40s.
The other thing I've read and I don't believe it's true is that the current rover up there wasn't equipped with anything to actually look for signs of life. It's just got like cameras and it's looking for other stuff.
Yeah.
Like the goal wasn't to look for life.
Interesting.
For the same reason I heard someone talking about the moon landing stuff again recently. I'm like, you're going through this whole process and you have to also film it because no one believes you.
Exactly.
It's kind of a tough process and thought process to get through because like you're doing all the, have to go, don't care, film it. That's not I'm here to like make sure the rocket goes and doesn't explode and we get there and we get back and there's other guys like, you got to film it. No one's going to believe you.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm starting to be like, it's a tough, I still believe in the moon landing and all that, but like, it's still a weird thing. Like,
you don't believe Bart Cybrell or whatever? Joe does.
I don't even know if he does. It's just a fun conversation to have.
It is a fun conversation.
That's really a lot of it. It's just fun to talk.
Joe was arguing with, who was it, Dave Smith or?
Well, Joe was really into it at one point.
Yeah.
And he's just back and forth. I think like we've talked about, just depends on the day you wake up. You're like, where am I at today? Like, I'm a little more this way today.
Yeah. It's so
Love
funny.
It. Keeps it interesting.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Come back right.
I got it on one green. Sorry.
When's your next tournament?
Next week.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have the week off and then...
Yep. Go to Philadelphia, and then it's Charlotte, and then to Memorial.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. If you want to get good at golf,
Yeah.
stay friends with him. Keep getting tips.
I like that. Just act like it doesn't exist. Woo!
Oh, that's really good.
Look at that. Dude. Crazy. That was insane.
So it's 100. You have a perfect 100 shot then, yeah? It's right in your head?
Yeah, it was, I had a club up for that one.
Oh, yeah.
That needs to sit, though.
Bounce right. Come on,
Yeah, dude.
Come on down.
Oh, let's go.
Come on down. Uh-oh,
Wow.
get through.
Where'd it go? I don't even see
Left.
Just drop down, right down the bottom of the tree.
Oh, it didn't get through.
It's a fun day you can have.
Yeah, the vibe is sweet. Nice. Good shot. How did you two get linked up?
I mean, just through, it was osmosis.
Yeah.
It would have happened eventually.
Yeah.
I think one of his videos, I just found his videos and I DM'd him after one of them.
Yeah.
And then the real link was after Townsend Brown video. I don't know if you watched that one.
Yeah.
We were already talking and I texted him. I was like, are you telling me that Doc Brown had a moment of like lightning and drove back to his lab in Pasadena and created time travel? Sounds like Back to the Future, dude. And he was
Possibly.
like, holy shit, you're right. And then he Googled some stuff and he got back to me. He was like, and there's even more that you don't know. And I was like, okay,
Oh, wow.
that's weird. That's weird.
Nice, Jesse.
Let's go. I think Back to the Future definitely touches on some real stuff. Because when the DeLorean comes back, it crashes, and the guy has like a little the kid has a comic book with like alien UFOs, and he's like, it has no seams, no rivets, like it must be an alien UFO or whatever, and it's actually a time travel machine. So he's like mistaking it in real time or whatever. Oh shit. Damn.
So close.
And then the guy Townsend Brown, like Doc Brown is Emmett Townsend. Emmett.
Yeah, you
TT,
pulled up the
Thomas
TT.
Townsend Brown.
I was just with Doc Brown. I was like, that was close enough. Because driving to Pasadena, which is where it took place and all that stuff.
Which is where Townsend Brown
yeah.
did his experiments.
Yeah.
And it's called the flux capacitor, which is Townsend Brown's experiment as a capacitor.
Like, but what do you make of that? Are there like Hollywood movies? Is that scripted in a sort of way?
According to Tom DeLonge, it's all on purpose.
I think,
or is it just like the wild synchronicities of life that
like
that
simulation?
I lean more towards that because there's so many weird ones that pop up.
I don't want it. Steven Spielberg executive produced it, and that guy knows some shit. Even if you look at Close Encounters of the Third Kind, there are 2 crates. Those are like the most advanced R&D programs at Lockheed and Northrop, respectively, that would have to do with this topic. Like, how would he know about that in like the late 80s? Like, I don't know.
Then read in.
I
fed some stuff. Yeah.
I don't know who made one of my favorite ones, Flight of the Navigator, I've told you about.
That's a Disney.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
But director Randall Kleiser.
Randall
Never heard of that
Kleiser.
name.
I first met Jake Barber at Disneyland.
Really?
Yeah.
Just
he was
safe
there,
place?
He was there with his family.
Okay.
And I drove down from LA.
That was also a pretty crazy interview, I thought, with Jake.
I thought so too. I think it was too much for people to stomach, like the psychic stuff and the UFO retrieval stuff all at once.
Yeah. And the fact that he says he's handled these crafts himself, like you don't hear that stuff very often.
No, he definitely, no, I mean, it's like, if that's, I don't know, where to shake out there. Like, I think if he's incredibly sophisticated and like, so everything checks on the surface, like it's almost like we'll never know. He's so sophisticated. And if it is true, it's the tip of the spear. It's like that and Lazar, and like what's farther than that?
There's an assumption that the United States government is this whole encompassing thing and they all work together and they all know everything and they got computers and they all talk on chats and emails and everybody's friends.
That can't
be. That's nowhere. It's probably the farthest from the truth.
It would have leaked.
And there's multiple different factions, even within factions and factions within factions. And maybe there's a small group of 3 guys that found something and stored it in a locker somewhere. And like, they're afraid to say what they got because they don't even know. And it turns out
It just has more
This
and
group
more.
has 50 of them. That's what Barbara was saying with the egg. Like, they might not care about the egg because they have too many. It's like, what a crazy thing to say.
I know. And that's what he said. I was
what'd you do with it then? You just threw it back? Like, dropped it off in the ocean? Like, where did it go?
Yeah.
Just left it?
We're like, how many do we have? And he's like, who is us? He's like,
sure.
It's like all these like factions fighting against each other.
I imagine if you told there's got to be a black market on the dark net for
UFOs.
Like, what's in that box? Buy it and find out.
But then how is this not more ubiquitous then?
How is it not more leaked and more? Yeah. If it's that many.
No one knows. It's hard to figure it out. You can see something
and not know
if you don't have the right tool to get in there.
Right. Just an egg shape.
Yeah. If you find an iPhone in 100 years.
But it can't be.
Yeah, but there should be more concrete like evidence then.
I agree.
I feel like everything is so much more into almost the theoretical. Like you listen to certain people and they've got this whole framework kind of figured out, but nothing to kind of show for it.
Yes. Unless you have 1,000. If you have over 1,000 of the eggs or whatever, then one of them's going to leak. Yeah. It just will in the modern day.
Sure.
Like, so it has to be like less than that. And yeah, there is this whole like theoretical ontology around a thing that we don't even know.
We don't even know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like crazy. Yeah. It's fun to speculate. And like, I think a lot of the ontology kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
When you listen to people explain it like that, but again, you got to have something concrete to show for it.
For sure. It also could like be a bunch of different things, like the things you're summoning or the things that show up around nukes that like look like blobby like lights or whatever aren't the saucers in, Lockheed hangars or whatever. Like those could be two fundamentally different things.
Yeah.
So it's just hard to say. Like, it could be like a zoo of like, there's just like this spooky science world. The DOE has like a lock on like a lot of it or whatever. Because that's where you have like the most secretive atomic stuff. And then that's where you would put the most secret science. It's where we do like the most, like intense high energy physics stuff. So
not DARPA, but like a different arm.
DARPA is a part of the DOE.
Yeah.
So
you think they have just a lot of different departments, kind of each specialized to particle physics, to whatever, the cloning DNA.
Well, the DOE also paid for the human genome experiment. So like they like have like a lot of genomic data that, other departments don't. They have the tightest security like since Los Alamos. And if you even look at like the special definition of nuclear material, like in the Atomic Energy Act of 1954, it's like anything emitting alpha, beta, gamma radiation is like born secret. It's like restricted data upon finding it. So you could just contract out a Lockheed or a Northrop or whatever. And if they like stumble onto a thing, it's like immediately secret. And then you have these, I don't know, like the largest particle accelerator in the US is like at Brookhaven National Labs. It's called Cosmotron. And so a lot of the secret science stuff is going on at these DOE sites. And that Malmgren said that too.
Yeah. Do you think, that's just from what I've heard, like, the technology in the iPhone, the screen, whatever, wireless, Wi-Fi, all that stuff is like kind of leaked from DARPA. I just heard that. Do you know, have you corroborated that at all?
To some extent, that's 100% true and not conspiratorial. Like, there's a search engine called Menex, which was pre-Google, that DARPA had been experimenting with, well before Google. ARPA-E created the internet. Like Jacques Vallée, who's actually a UFO pioneer, was like working with Doug Engelbart on like the earliest part of the internet in like the 70s.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Any people from like Lockheed or Northrop or any of those companies that you have a chance to maybe interview and like see from that angle? Because most of it, I feel like you're coming
There's a guy I met from Skunk Works who's like really smart, doesn't believe in he thinks like the UFO stuff is he believes in UFOs like in the ephemeral, like you see them outside or you see them, around like nuclear sites or whatever.
Okay.
But I don't think he thinks that's the same thing as like, he thinks it's just human tech, like at Lockheed and other places. And so.
But he works for Skunk Works.
He used to. Yeah. For like 30 years.
Okay.
And he's kind of trippy and he believes in a lot of like, I think he thinks that we've made a lot of progress on a lot of like secret tech that
After he left Lockheed or
no, like
Skyforce?
even while he was there,
Okay.
but like he kind of hints at stuff, like he can't always like, you know. What's up, guys? I want to tell you about my new favorite boots. These things are epic. I've been wearing these everywhere. They're called Brunt. They're insanely comfortable and durable. These things last for years and they're super versatile. I wear them for hiking, for hanging out. They look pretty swaggy if you're going out. They even look good in work meetings. They feel incredibly comfortable. There's no annoying break-in period. They just kind of form fit to your foot right off the bat. They're lightweight. You don't have to lug them around, but they're also super weather resistant, waterproof, and durable. Brunt is committed to making sure you're 100% satisfied with your new gear. With over 500,000 customers already on board, these boots are the best in the category. Take it from me. Brunt makes the most epic, durable, and comfortable work boots. For a limited time, our listeners get $10 off at Brunt by using code Jesse at checkout. Just head to bruntworkwear.com and use code Jesse and you're all set. Even better, Brunt lets you try all their products on the job risk-free. Just go to bruntworkwear.com and use code Jesse for $10 off. Again, that's bruntworkwear.com, code Jesse. After you purchase, they will ask you where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them that we sent you.
Well, fellas, enjoyed it.
Great plan, man. It was an honor. It was an honor. Thank you for bringing yourself down to our level. It means a lot.
Well, yeah, we meet each other halfway. I go down on the golf thing, and you go down with the UFO stuff.
No,
so
no.
we meet each other halfway.
No, I mean, I might not know more than you, you know?
It's fascinating to talk about, so.
Yeah. It definitely is. And I think there's going to be a lot of momentum in this world for like the next, I feel like it's in the zeitgeist. Like there's so much, even if it's like a vague sense, that there's just, I don't know, like you asked me this, you were like, what if the UFOs just like don't go anywhere? And I'm like, I just don't think that's going to be the case. And that was like 6 months ago.
Yeah.
I would believe that it's going to like keep growing.
Take off,
Yeah. Get your
you do a fake walk off or just take off? You see me drive away?
Yeah.